Well, today I am sitting with Miguel Arajo, and Miguel has a very special place in my heart as he has come through our program. And the man he is today is certainly not the man that he was, and really an incredible transformation. And Miguel, maybe just to help people understand where you've come from, tell us, what was life like before you came to Hope the Mission?
To Hope the Mission, my life was a mess. My life was a mess. I started using drugs, like, and I got addicted to them. And as some people knows, I was addicted to those drugs for over 10 years. Over 10 years. And it kind of messed up my head, my brain. I couldn't function without using drugs or drinking alcohol. So I started a pattern that led me to be on the streets because my family couldn't take me no more. That led me to the streets, and I was on the streets for a while. I was bad in the head. I was talking to myself. This mental illness that I was suffering, it was terrible, you know. It was really bad. I don't even want to remember that because...
Well, let's talk about that, because we really want people to realize just the severity and how real mental health is. And especially when people have mental health breaks or they suffer from mental health disease or sickness.
Yeah.
And I know for you, you know, maybe take us, when did you first start to experience, would you say that the drugs led to the mental health issues, or did the mental health issues lead to the drug issues?
My drug addiction led me a little bit to it, and all of the personal problems I was going through, they added up, and I just couldn't take it no more. So I started having breakdowns. I had to go to the hospitals many times, and I didn't want help in the beginning, and then I ended up on the streets, you know, talking to myself and having a lot of voices in my head.
So when you would go to the hospital, what was that like?
In the hospital, they put me a couple times in the trauma room. Being right there is like really bad, because you hear people screaming right here, people screaming right here, and I'm going through a lot of stuff inside my head. Many voices was telling me, oh, they're making fun of you, they're doing this, they're doing that, they're doing that. And I was just trying to ignore them and getting desperate until the doctors came and they started putting some kind of things in my veins. So I calmed down. So I used to spend nights in the hospital until I was fine.
And so it sounds like there's a lot of paranoia.
Yeah.
Where you were afraid of things.
I
you
was
were afraid of what people were saying or thinking, or you were always looking over your shoulder.
Yeah.
And we're living a life of fear.
Yeah.
And just so our audience knows, just like when you say you used drugs, what kind of drugs were you using on the streets?
I was using pills, I was using weed, I was using meth, I was using steroids, I was using things that a lot of people may not know, like peyotes. Peyotes is like a cactus that we used to use.
And why were you using those drugs?
To numb my pain, because I got away from my family. I don't blame my family, because I was the one that caused all that. Maybe it was something from my childhood. I started going to a psychiatrist for treatment, and then he started asking me from the beginning, from my childhood until I was already grown up. And he found out that some problems were the patterns that I developed throughout the years, you know. And so I started doing bad, and that's when I pinpoint where was my problem at. And when I was using drugs on the street, I noticed and I realized when I was sober for a few days that I was doing bad and I needed help, you know. So that's when I started looking for help. I started looking for help until I found Hope of the Valley.
Now, you know that nearly 63% of those that are chronically homeless in Los Angeles suffer from some form of mental illness, and 49% of those have a substance use disorder. And so it's very, very real and prevalent on our streets. You know, people dealing with mental health issues. And you know, I know one of the challenges we have here at Hope the Mission is sometimes just being able to get people the help that they need. And oftentimes people will be taken in on a 5150 and put in a hold and a lockdown temporarily. But there's just very few facilities for people to go to, and people are put right back on the street. So when you see people that are currently living on the streets suffering from mental illness, what goes through your mind?
It reminds me, every time I see a person like that on the streets, when I was driving or either I'm in the bus riding it and I see a person like that on the streets, and I figure as a mirror, I can see myself through them, the way I used to be. And now I'm proud to be who I am right now, thanks to you guys, to Hope of the Valley, Hope of the Mission. And because they have taught me, they have showed me the right way, the right path to go through, and not to strive away, because that can be a point of no return, you know. And I think I can tell you right now that I am glad and I'm so happy to share this with you guys, because I can say that I am a living proof that those problems can be fixed, you know?
Yeah.
I'm here and I'm sharing this from the bottom of my heart.
Yeah.
And I don't want to go back to those things, you know?
You know, oftentimes it's easy to look at people that are at their worst and think they could never change, that they're always going to be that way. And you are living proof that we can hit rock bottom, we can be at our worst, we can suffer from mental illness, suffer from drug addiction and alcoholism, and to rise above that. And
That's
so
right.
What are some of the things, you know, that you were able to do to rise above that situation? I know many people will go to AA, they'll go to NA, they will go to therapy, they'll go to counseling, they go to church, they go to you know, many different things. But what really helped you turn the corner?
What helped me first was a psychiatrist. Then after, when I came through Hope of the Valley taught me to go through meetings with AA, meetings with religion based, and you know, it's very important to have someone accountable with you that have gone through the stuff that you barely going through, you know, and that person can keep you accountable no matter what. Because a person that really loves you, that really cares about you, will tell you your mistakes and your failures, and not like a person that says that loves you and it's gonna be, oh no, it's okay, he's gonna let you go through the bad side again. No, that's not a true friend that says he loves you. It's not true.
Well, now, how long have you been clean and sober now?
Now, clean and sober, I am from December 2017. That's when I started getting sober. So from 17 to now, 6 years.
Wow,
a little over 6 years.
6 years, and obviously there must have been some challenges along the way. I think anyone that has come through those seasons, you know, there's always temptation. There's always choices that have to be made to say no. And what has helped you over these past 6 years to stay on this path?
To stay on this path, the meetings with men fellowships, they help a lot. That's when you can see a lot of people
Yeah.
retire from all the bad stuff in the back and their background, and they come over and they meet up with you, they invite you coffee, they go out together to lunch or stuff like that, talk about their things they've been going through, so they can help each other and support each other. You know?
I think having friendships, having accountability, having people that have your back, people that believe in you, people that support you, I think is really, really important. And so, what's your life like now? You work for the mission. What's that like? And where do you see yourself headed?
I work for the mission right now, and I'm planning on take over the CEO's chair. I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. I don't know. I don't know. I don't think I don't think I can take your spot.
Well, I would love someday. That would be wonderful.
I've been working for the mission since I got sober. So I started all the way from the bottom, cleaning toilets and everything.
Yeah.
Right now, I manage the warehouse. I try to take care of the fleet. There's many cars in the company. I'm trying to keep up on it.
Yeah, you've come a long way, haven't you?
I have come a
You know,
long
I've
way.
seen pictures of when you first came to the mission.
Yeah.
You know, as a matter of fact, we actually, Miguel, you spoke at one of the events that I was being honored at, and we sent them your picture, and they didn't want to show the picture. They thought that you looked too bad and that it would actually be fearful or scare people, which I couldn't quite understand. But I think it just shows the drastic nature of this change, this metamorphosis that you went through. Because I know when you came in, you know, you were addicted, you were suffering from mental illness, and I know early on you didn't even know if you were going to be able to stay. You were tempted to run out, to leave, and you know, and I think everyone, when we're making those changes, because we get used to our addiction, we get familiar and comfortable with those voices, and we start to believe that that's who we really are. But at some point, you had to say, that's not who I am. I am somebody different, and I'm going to be different. And so, the person you are today, who is Miguel?
Miguel is number one. And I'm here to hold accountable other people. You know, I recommend people to go to meetings. There's always hope for everything, you know, for people that is been doing bad like I used to. There's always hope. There's no I'm here and nobody wants me, nobody likes me, nobody loves me. No, there's always hope. If you want to change, you change, you know. And the help is right here. Maybe there's not that much funding on the to support all this matter that is being going on, because drug addiction leads to mental health problems, and then the mental health problems, they might lead people to kill themselves, you know. Sometimes the things that they get in their head that and their feelings get hurt when people just say, Fuchi, I don't want to see you, I don't want to walk by you, you know. I went through that too, and those kind of things that people makes the homeless feel like, and that can lead them to suffer more, to damage themselves more, and maybe to commit suicide.
Yeah, you know, we see a lot of that, don't we? Of people that are homeless that feel so demoralized and dejected and rejected, and they feel like an outcast. They feel that they're unworthy of true love and acceptance. And you know, I think dealing with mental health, there's a stigma. You know, oftentimes people are afraid to ask for help when they have mental health issues, thinking that, oh, that's only for people that are, quote, crazy. But in reality, it can be depression, it can be anxiety, it can be schizophrenia, it could be a neurosis. There are so many different aspects of mental health, and I think the more we can destigmatize it, and so that people can get help, because as you said, when people don't get the help they need, then they hurt themselves, they hurt others,
Yes.
and they certainly never live up to the potential
Yep.
that they could and that they should. And
Yep.
so, Miguel, is there anything else that you would like to say?
Not really. I mean, like I said before, I'm glad and happy that I can share something that I lived through, that I went through, and I love being Hope of the Valley. I love what I do, and like I said before, I'm here living the dream with Hope of the Valley, you know.
And you are a miracle. You really are. Statistically, you should be dead.
Yeah.
Based on just the amount of drugs you used, the lifestyle you lived.
Yes.
And yet today you are a walking, talking, living, breathing miracle of God.
Yeah.
And we rejoice with you. We are so glad you're on the team. And here at Team Hope, we are committed to giving people second chances, to lifting people up, empowering them to rise above their circumstances. And so we celebrate this moment with you, and we look forward to great years ahead to seeing you achieve and reach your destiny and the goals that you have for your life.
Yeah.